We've been around the country and seen some of the best model homes that money can buy. Today, we are comparing two toll brothers, one in Georgia and one in Texas, to find out who has the better model homes. In this video, you will see two extravagant models that have showcased nothing but elegance. Let me know in the comments which one's your favorite and enjoy. What's going on, Rankin family? Welcome back to another fantastic property tour. Today, I'm excited to bring to you folks another beautiful Toll Brothers right here in Northfield. This is a brand new model home right here in Cumming, Georgia. So let's take a look at the exterior. So we do have that farmhouse vibe that we get a lot out here. You have a 3-car garage bay over here to the left. You know, since this is the model home, all the landscaping is all there, and that's the sales office, but that would be converted to your garage and you have your long driveway. Now this one looks real similar to one of the other ones that we had the good fortune of seeing, but I think you're gonna love the inside of here. I really love the fact that we do have the upstairs, downstairs, as well as more of like that finished basement. If you recall, if you've seen a couple tours ago, we talked about that as far as Toll Brothers. They don't usually sell the homes or their inventory homes finished as far as that is concerned, but there is some exceptions and some things we could do to get you taken care of. It's what they told me. So you have the painted white brick going all the way to the front. You notice that you do have the composition roof as well. I love the covered front porch. Look at that. And it's very rare that we've seen the double front doors. Love that. And you have the extension as far as the covered front porch to the right side and the left side of the house, which I absolutely love. But let's get you inside. I know that's what you're definitely waiting for. This is where the beauty is. All right. Okay. So immediately whenever you walk in, the first thing you notice is the 2-story foyer. You have the beautiful chandeliers. You can see that 2-story continues into the great room. You have your catwalk right there as well. So let's take a look to the left. Okay, so we have our formal dining room. You have a open area going straight to the kitchen. You can see we have the downstairs where the basement is, but we'll definitely take a look at this formal dining room. So plenty of space. As you can see, we have 8 chairs in here and it sits extremely comfortable. If you wanted to extend it a little bit more, maybe a 10-seater dining table, you can certainly do that. I see there's a ton of room. And then you notice that you have engineered wood flooring. So look how open this is. Love that fact. But what we'll go ahead and do is we'll continue to the foyer to the great room. Wow. Absolutely stunning. So fresh furniture in here. You have the 20-foot ceilings. You have the 2 candlelight chandeliers. I always love when Toll Brothers do that. You know, you sometimes have that 1 centerpiece chandelier, but in this instance, we have 2. Love that. You have your sliders going to your balcony. Look at that. Whoo-hoo. Now, you know, a lot of times out here, it's really hilly. So there's a ton of hills. So you notice in the front, that's the first level, but then you're looking at the back and you're saying, hey, are we already on the 2nd level? But I love that fact. Okay, so looking at our fireplace, you have the floor to ceiling fireplace, your exposed beams on top, recessed lights. You can see straight ahead where our catwalk is. And then I love that we have the built-ins on both ends. Now, you let me know in the comments, do you prefer the built-ins or do you prefer the, you know, plain Jane, where you can, you know, maybe put some decorative pieces up or some artwork or something of that nature? Okay. And then of course, straight over there, right before you go to the basement, you notice that you do have your built-ins with the quartz countertops, extremely roomy, extremely spacious. And then also in our foyer, look at those beautiful lighting fixtures. It gives like that candle-like illusion. Whew, love that. Okay, so let's continue to our kitchen. So first thing you notice is the sink in the island. I love that we have the brass faucet. Really stands out. Beautiful off-white cabinets with the stacked cabinets on top as well. Stainless steel range hood. Beautiful oversized Genera appliances as well. Love that. Look at this, folks. Now that's a home. So you have your sliders in the great room, but you notice you have the quick access door right here in your breakfast area where you can just go out there. You don't really have to open that completely up, and you can go have your morning coffee, which I love as well. But look at that, the engineered wood flooring extends. They already have the games out there, the cornhole with the Toll Brothers logo. We'll get out there pretty soon. But more importantly, I know sometimes we kind of, go fast throughout the kitchen, but I want to open some of these drawers up for you. Soft closing, love that. You can see the depth in the cabinets inside of our island. Quartz countertops, look at that. The matching quartz backsplash. Now, a lot of times we see the white quartz backsplash, but in this instance, you have the same color that you have right here, the two-tone, or the same tone rather. Look at this. So plenty of space, and then I won't forget about the refrigerator. I know some of my subscribers, they love the refrigerator. And look at that. So additional storage right next to the refrigerator. And then let's see what we got in here. Okay, nothing just yet. Soon we'll have some Cokes in there, some Sprites. And then right here, perfect for that Keurig. Or the Nespresso. The Keurig was extremely popular at one point in time. I'm pretty sure, a lot of you folks have the Keurig, but that Nespresso, it seemed like it took the world by storm, the last couple years. Okay, so of course, like I said, you have the 3-car garage. So straight ahead would be the 1-car garage bay. And then right here, you would have that 2-car garage bay. And then of course, walking in, you have your mudroom, the stacked cabinets continues up here. And then right here, continuing, a walk-in pantry. So a ton of storage space, even if you wanted to, have some additional storage shelves that continues towards the ceiling. That way you have additional storage, you can certainly do so. And of course, right here, you have your coat closet with the glass pane. Woo-hoo. Love that. And then a lot of my fans of Toll Brothers, we really love the doors with the glass panes. Really makes the property stand out, gives it that timeless look, that elegant look. Wow. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look over here. Then we'll head upstairs, and then of course we'll finish towards the bottom. So this is our powder room right here. You notice that you have the brass mirror frames, closed toilet lids, which I love, wainscoting. You have the wainscoting all around here. You got this nice little wallpaper, really nice. And then look at that. So I love that we have the quartz countertops. That brass just really stands out inside of here. Love that. And then of course, the location of the powder room, fantastic. Okay, so this will be our first bedroom right here. This is our guest suite. And then I think you're really gonna love right across the hall from this, because you'll have a flex room. We'll take a look at that. But the tall baseboards extends in here. There's no carpet in here, which I love. You have the engineered wood flooring. Look at the full scope of the room. So look at that. You even have a little space over here to add that chair. You have your dresser, nice little mirror, great decor in here, which is fantastic. And then I always like to come on this side to show you outside so you can see the outside the windows. So plenty of room in here, extremely roomy. And then this one is going to be where your closet is. So you have the double doors going into your closet. And then there's no bathroom attached to it, because if you continue this way, you'll have a full bathroom that's shared between the two. And then so when we say flex room, you could utilize it as anything really, right? So if you wanted to have it as an additional bedroom, well, that's good that you have this as a shared bathroom, because you don't have to worry about that whatsoever. But look at that. You have that porcelain tile, the shower surround. You also got the shower bench that we have, the shower niche, brass fixtures in here as well. Love that, folks. Okay, and then if you notice, you have the same material on the flooring as you do with the shower surround. Okay, so this is our flex room, as you can tell, and it hints the name, right? It's flexible. So therefore, In here, look at that. You have the shiplap on the ceiling. First time I've seen that. You always see it on the walls, very few times. Actually, no, we've seen it a couple times, but very rarely do you ever see that. All right, now look at this. You actually have the brick material as far as that accent wall. Of course, you got your nice TV set up, Jenner wine fridge as well. And look how roomy it is. So very similar in size to the guest suite. But if you wanted to, have this as a media area, another optional game room, a man cave, woman cave, any cave, you could do that. Just go ahead and shut out all the windows, and that way you can kind of have that nice, really beautiful ambiance that you so much love. Okay, so let's get upstairs real quick, see what we're working with, and see if we can continue the beauty. Okay, before we head into the rooms, I always like to overlook the great rooms so that way you can get a full scope. And then let's take a look at our primary. Ooh. Okay, so we have the tray ceilings, the cross beams painted as well towards the top. Look how spacious it is. Toll Brothers, wow. Every single model home we've seen, at least, we've seen the one in Woodstock, Georgia. We've seen another one here in Cumming, Georgia. They really stand out. But this one just got decorated, so you can see that king bed, the 2 nightstands. You got your dresser over here, your sitting area. Plenty of windows in here. Wow. And then if you can imagine having your built-in speakers inside your house, always playing that nice jazz. Love it. Okay, so going into our ensuite, his and hers sinks. We're continuing the brass theme up here. Look at this huge freestanding tub. Look at that. You can soak in there with the Epsom salt, put some lavender in there after a long day. Just don't fall asleep in there. But you have your 2 windows straight ahead right over here. You still can cover up, quartz countertops. And then don't even get me started on this walk-in shower. Love that. Got your recessed light right above. You got the herringbone style tile flooring in here. And then you have the 2 separate materials. You have the subway tiles on top, and then more of the longer tiles, panes in here. Okay. And then walking into our primary closet. Extremely spacious in here. I'm loving what we're seeing. Got your window straight ahead as well. Look at that. And then you see that it connects to the utility room. I always love this, your built-in drawers. Love that. Soft closing. I love that they added that. Sometimes, we'll end up going into houses and I say, hey, soft closing cabinets, soft closing drawers. And then we go to one of the drawers and it's not soft closing. I'm like, oh man. It's happened a few times, but I love that we have our laundry room connected. I haven't seen that quite a bit out here. A lot of times in Texas, when we had the good fortune of seeing these homes, that was really, really common, extremely common, especially with some of these other production builders as well. And then I feel like more of the custom builders, they really started adopting that. Okay, so going into our next bedroom, straight ahead over there, we have our shiplap to the ceiling, on the walls right over here. Recessed lights. You got your built-in, your window bench as well. Love that. Now you let me know, do you folks love the window bench? Would you prefer to, just have, exclude the window bench and just maybe you could add your desk right here or some additional decor, or if you like that. But I love that we have our full bathroom attached to this one. So in this particular plan, the Payton plan, you will have the 5 bedrooms, 5.5 bathrooms. So except the one downstairs, right? That one was not attached, but every bedroom should have their own bathroom. And I'll verify that because there's been some times where I've been surprised. But you have your quartz countertops, your brass mirror frame, really nice. Just look at that. That just looks elegant. I love that. Now we do have carpet inside of here. as well. Most of the times the secondary bedrooms will have the carpet. You walk straight out here. That's where we come from, where our primary was. We'll go across the catwalk, and then I'll also show you, this will be overlooking the foyer right here. Okay, let's go to our next bedroom, and hopefully I'm not going too fast for you folks. If it is going too fast, you can always put it at like, 0.5 speed. And if I'm going too slow for you, you can always speed it up a little bit. But you have your wood accent wall right here. Same material that we have downstairs and upstairs in the primary, right? Look at that. The glass doors going in to the closet. You got your desk over here. This is interesting. Look at that. You got a desk, not attached to it, but close to your drawers right there as well. Let's see if we can open these up. So it's not a huge closet, very similar to the same one that we saw in the guest suite. So I usually like to see, when the other bedrooms do have the walk-in closets, just depending on what you plan to use it for. But, hey, that'll definitely do for sure. All right, so we have our bathroom. Ooh, look at that shower surround right there. Quartz countertop, same material as far as the cabinet's concerned. Regular tile in here, but look at that. That's actually brick material. Like that groove brick material. It might be just, obviously just slap on what have you, nothing crazy. It's not a ton of bricks in there, but I really like that texture. Okay. And of course, a little closet right here. So every single door almost has had the glass panes. Of course, going into the bedrooms, you see the doors are off the hinges. And of course, that's because it is a model home. Look at that. We got a little pi symbol right there. If you're a mathematician, you love math. Got this nice little accent as far as the wallpaper is concerned. So yeah, this is what you're seeing. Like I said, they just dressed this one up. A lot of times we have the good fortune of seeing some of these Toll Brothers when they first open up. I'll try my best to get it to you as first as possible. And it's nice just to see some of the decor they have in here. Okay, and you can see straight ahead where our closet is. Nothing crazy. Look at this. Every single shower tub combo we've seen had a different style shower surround. And in here you have the black fixtures, the black mirror frame. I don't know, that brass just did something to me. But of course, if depending who's living in this room and stuff, they might want something more manly and stuff like that. I think that brass just looks elegant, All right. Okay, so that was the entire second level. We've made our way through the first level. And last but not least, let's go ahead and take a look at that basement, see what we're looking like. And we're going to be heading back to Texas pretty soon. I know some folks were asking, hey, did you completely move or what the heck's going on? No, we just, like I said a few months ago, really wanted to check out some of these other models and stuff. So I made some arrangements and, we were out here for a while, but we'll definitely be back to Texas, bring you some Texas homes, but we'll still be showcasing that beautiful Nashville. Well, anyway, look at this, folks. Look at this. Beautiful finished basement. I mean, the beauty is the options are certainly endless when it comes to basements, right? Because if they have it unfinished, you choose how you want to design it and all that stuff. And this is exactly what is possible, folks. So I'll do a full scope, stop talking. Wow. That is perfect, folks, right here. So of course, look at that. You have your countertops over there, waterfall, and then you have your built-ins. Look at this, the ping pong table, the L-shaped couch. You got your formal sitting area over here. If you're, having a nice sit down, you have your cocktail you know, some Jim Beam, some moonshine, whatever you need. You have it in here. You're hanging out in. Oh my goodness. I forgot what this thing is called. I forgot, but this thing was always pretty hard. But look at this, folks. And then of course you have your exposed beams up there. Love this. Now this is beautiful. And then of course you have the same material countertops. You'll see you have that same backsplash that we had. You have the herringbone style tile backsplash up here. Wow, folks, just look how awesome this is. And then of course going to the backyard, you have your sliders. But before we continue, let's make sure we don't miss a thing. We'll start over here to the left. Let's take a look what we got down here. Okay, so look at this. They have it decorated as a study that you have down here. Extremely roomy. But of course, you have a closet with a window, so therefore it is a bedroom. Look at that. Now, how funny is that? Now, down here, we have the walk-in closet. So, you know, whoever needs more space, this is exactly where you might want to be, right? But the engineered wood flooring extends inside of there. Love the beautiful lighting fixture that we have right above here. Nice. Okay. And continuing along, we have another shared bathroom right here. This is a full bathroom. Wow. Extremely large. You got your walk-in shower with the light, with the brass shower head, as well as the faucet, recessed light. Love this burgundy color right here. Look at this. Wow, folks. Whoo. Now that is, it has that minimalist feel that a lot of folks are wanting inside of their homes, especially now, but then still that real nice, elegant vibe. Of course, your glass pane going in there. And what do we have in here? Okay. Yeah. So this is like another unfinished little area right here. They wouldn't classify, they probably classify that more as just, you know, maybe something like an attic or something like that. Because I know we had seen that in one of the other ones that we had the good fortune of seeing over there at Holly Farms. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look back here, see how we're looking. Okay, so you got your covered area. Love that. Beautiful lanterns over there. So they have the turf set up, the extended patio. Look at this. Okay. Look at that, folks. Let me do a full pan for you. Beautiful. Okay, so we have our turf. You see how they have it set up, right? But really the possibilities are endless. Like I say, you have your cornhole over here with your Toll Brothers emblem. Now you see that section. We'll go over there in a second because I didn't get to show you on that balcony right there. But let's take a look right here first. So you can see towards the back, you have the painted white brick on the lower exterior. And then on the upper, you have the hardy board. Look at this. Perfect for entertaining, folks. Ooh, you got your bull built-in stainless steel grill right here. Got your countertop space. Oh, now this is what I'm talking about. Now, a lot of times when they have it set up like this, they do a lot of hosting over here, maybe realtor events, client events. So this will be a perfect location. They're actually going to be doing a realtor event pretty soon as well. So you might be able to stop by here and take a look at it if you're in the area. But look at that. Love this, folks. You have that natural stone right here in your fireplace. Beautiful. You can fit 15, 20, 25 people down here comfortably hanging out. Of course, you have the area for the balcony and then the finished basement. Wonderful. Okay, last but not least, let's go ahead and take a look at that second balcony and then we'll end our tour, folks. I never like to leave anything hanging because then you have to go find it somewhere else to see if you can see an area. And you know, I've done that a couple times actually. You know, where I'm talking so much and then I get distracted and then I forget a whole room and stuff. And I always feel horrible. Makes me want to go do it again for you folks. Okay. Last but not least, let's look at our balcony. So each one of those are sliders. Sometimes it may look like sliders and it's actually not, but I always like to verify before we do that. Okay, so if you didn't want to go to the finished basement downstairs, you go out here, hang out, have that morning coffee, have your brunch over here with the entire family. Love that. And then this will be overlooking the backyard. But other than that, family, that was the beautiful Toll Brothers right here in Cumming, Georgia. All right, folks, I hope you absolutely love this All right, Rankin family, hope you absolutely love this beautiful home we just got done touring. Is this something you could see yourself living in? Would you make any changes? If so, let me know in the comments below. Consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss any tour that we drop every single week. And I'll see you folks on the next property tour. What's going on, Rankin family? Welcome back to another video. Today, we are looking at this beautiful Toll Brothers property. This is called the Heidelberg. It's a modern farmhouse, and I can't wait for you to see inside this one. Now, as you can tell, I mean, they got some locations and some lots that are available, and it is a possibility to build. So, of course, if you want more information, reach out to the information in the description. We'll get you taken care of. But real quick, just looking at the exterior, I love the fact that we have this stucco. You have the painted white brick as well. And if you notice on both ends, you have the ability to build with a 3 to 4 car garage. So obviously right here to the right and the left would be your garage bays. And as you can tell, I love that we have the white and the black tone. I absolutely love that. I think that's one of the things that we're really seeing nowadays, just because of the simple fact that it looks extremely modern and extremely contemporary. But let's go ahead and take a look inside this property. So I love that you have this chrome handle right here, and look at this. So this is immediately when you walk into the foyer, you are going to have your formal dining room right here to the left with the accent, and not to mention the natural stone fireplace, beautiful chrome wagon wheel candlelight chandelier as well. But let's go ahead and start right here in the formal dining room. So you have the accents all along the walls right here. You are going to have this oversized window with the window grids inside. Me personally, I think the windows without the window grids looks extremely nice, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. You have this chrome chandelier right over your dining room table, and they just opened this up. So you are going to notice a lot of trendy furniture inside of here. The staging is impeccable. I absolutely love that. And just look at this, going up your staircase, you are going to have the 20-foot ceilings. I absolutely love that with the tall windows. So let's go ahead and start in the great room. You're going to have these exposed beams on the top, not to mention you are going to have the wood on top of the ceiling, which everyone absolutely loves. And I love the fact that we have the great room kitchen combination. And the natural stone on the fireplace is actually floor to ceiling, folks. I absolutely love that. And it just looks extremely elegant. Not to mention you have the clear story windows on top. And before we go into the kitchen, let's go ahead and take a look at the wine cellar. So this may be something where you really do want, I mean, quite frankly, even if you're not a wine drinker, like I always mention, it's something to just go ahead and take advantage of, because man, just the elegance. How many people can actually say you have a wine cellar in your room, or in your house rather? I love that. All right, so continuing along, so we are going to have the wood flooring throughout this entire property, which I absolutely love. Now, you know, Toll Brothers, they do a fantastic job of showcasing their properties, and this is nothing short of excellence. So inside of here, you are going to have your waterfall quartz countertops rather. You are going to have the brick-like backsplash as well, wood range hood, not to mention with the stainless steel belt and stack cabinets on top. The one thing that we're noticing with the stack cabinets is that some of these ones that we're seeing that are showcasing, or at least recently, you have the tall stack cabinets, which is a unique feature. And look at this, inside of your breakfast nook, you have the herringbone brick-like floor, which is very unique. I've never seen a brick-like floor, which is very nice, very unique. Chrome chandelier again right over your table. Absolute beauty. You have sliders on both ends in the breakfast nook and inside of the great room. And then let's go ahead and go over here first and foremost, so that way you can see inside your chef's kitchen. Right here, you are going to have essentially your butler's pantry. I love the fact that obviously Toll Brothers, they do a fantastic job of showcasing their window doors, and that's going into the pantry. It's a full-size walk-in pantry, as you can see. You even have a lock on it too. So if you don't want people snooping around in your pantry, you can certainly lock that. Again, this is the model house, so that's one thing to keep in mind. A lot of this is going to be dressed to the nines, so just keep that in mind. Straight ahead would be, of course, your garage. Right here, you could utilize this as a little flex room, quite literally a flex room, right? If you wanted to. But really, the possibilities are certainly endless. Quite frankly, if you were to build this one entirely from scratch, then you're going to see some other options that you could take advantage of. And then, of course, that would be your garage. So think of it as if you were coming into your garage, you have your mud room, and then you would go straight to your kitchen / great room. Wow. Loving it so far. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Now, going over here, you have your extended covered backyard patio that continues along here. And then look how beautiful this is. Wow. Absolutely fantastic. The one thing you're going to notice is a ton of room inside of here. Natural light on a beautiful day like this. This is the third home tour of a video today. So you might be wondering why I'm wearing the same stuff. But in here, you have your crown molding on top. You have the chrome chandeliers again right over your nightstands. Full walk-in closet. This is not the primary, so don't panic on me just yet. And then, of course, we have a full bathroom. I love the fact that our shower surround continues on the shower floor and in the flooring throughout the bathroom. Glass pane door again with the wooden mirror framing and the chrome lighting fixtures again. Wow. So I really love when we have crown molding in here, quite frankly. That's one of the things that makes a lot of sense, really, just from an aesthetic standpoint. And here you're going to have a full bathroom again. You can utilize this as a powder bath or, full-size bathroom again, like how they have it. But, the herringbone pattern shower surround inside of there. We got our shower bench, quartz countertops, wood cabinetry, and stone flooring in here. So Toll Brothers, obviously they build all around Texas and quite frankly, all around the United States. I had someone that reached out to me recently before we do that, pause that thought. Let me go ahead and open this refrigerator for you. I got a comment not too long ago about that. And then also the cabinets. Don't want to let you down, so that way you can see how much storage space we have inside of here. But what I was saying is I had someone that reached out and they're moving from Los Angeles and they love the Toll Brothers out in Texas over the California. So if you have any experience, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Right here, we're going to have a full-size utility room with the quartz countertops, oversized washer and dryer. And let me know what you folks think about that. Do you like the counter right above the washer and dryer? Really, it sounds like a fantastic option as far as from a standpoint to go ahead and fold clothes, because sometimes you may just go ahead and put the clothes in, on top of the washer and dryer. But if you have a full counter, you can definitely utilize that. Inside of here, you're going to have your study with your French doors. Again, the chrome lighting fixture right above your desk. And look at that, built-ins. Wow. So you can put the books. Really, if you have books, you probably would have put those down where you can't really see through, because when you have the glass right there, you can easily add the decor and it just looks extremely fancy. I love it. And then right over here, of course, you have the lamps to go ahead and illuminate your paintings or anything that you have. Of course, straight ahead, we would have the garage that would be converted. And then right here, we have a coat closet. So on the other side, you have that garage bay where you would come in through the mud room and essentially just go straight to the kitchen over here. You can go straight over there, but that would be where we come in from. And then of course we went straight ahead that way to the right, and let's go ahead and to the left so we can see the primary. Before we go into the ensuite and the walk-in closet, let's look at the primary. Wow. Look at that chandelier. We've seen that in the Stelvio model out in Houston, the greater Houston area. But man, look at that. Can you imagine having the chandelier inside of your primary? So you have the shiplap ceiling right there, the tall ceilings inside of here. So you have the raised ceilings, plus the wood flooring extends over here. And just look at this, king size bed, full bedroom set. Wow, you can't get much better than that. So right here to the right is going to be a walk-in closet. Look how much space you have in here. Extends all the way back. Wow. So if you need more built-in shelving rather, you can go ahead and do so. More storage space, you can certainly do so. And then right here to the left is going to be your full ensuite. Look at that. So you have your tile accent wall, rectangular soak-in tub, vanity area, his and her sink, wooden mirror frames, chrome lighting fixtures. Fantastic. Look at that walk-in shower, full-size walk-in shower with the waterfall shower head as well. Wow. Well, I don't want to break it, but you can obviously see how much space is in here. The oversized shower niche. Look at this. And Toll Brothers glass pane doors, that's what they're known for. But I love the fact that we have the vanity area over here for the ladies and the tile flooring inside of here. Wow. And just to think that was only the first level. So I don't know if I showcase this, but you have another coat closet. So you have the one right there when you enter in from that part of the garage, as well as right here. And I'll do one more quick pan before we go to the second level. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. And real quick, if you are a returning viewer, welcome back, folks. Always great to have you. Really appreciate the continued support. And if this is your first time to the channel, my name is Marcus Rankin. I am a Texas realtor. I get calls, texts, and emails every single week from folks looking to make a move to Texas, regardless if it's Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, you name it. We have the team to get you taken care of. So reach out below so that way you can book a call, find out how we can help you. And consider hitting that subscribe button. I'd love for you to become a part of the Rankin family. And that way, when I release a video every week. So right here, you're going to have a full-size game room, which I love. You have the game room, media room combination. Wow. Ton of space in here. Perfect for entertaining folks. And quite frankly, that's almost an understatement for this property. So in the Heidelberg, you're going to have over 5,000 square feet. So it's 5,184, and it can go even higher than that, just depending on what you got, or what you need rather. And if the music is good, you go ahead and dance. So that's a perfect space. Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at that mirror. So look at that. Wow. So plenty of space. You have this LED surrounding your wood ledge right here. And just look at that. I love you have the wood accent wall back there. Double sliding doors going inside of here, which is fantastic. Let's go ahead and go down these steps right here to our next bedroom. Look at that. Wow, you can't get much better than that. Brick like accent wall right here. Beautiful chandelier right here as well. Wow. So folks, I'm giving this a straight up 10, maybe even 11 out of 10, which is impossible, but man, you really just cannot get much better than this. And bravo and hats off to Toll Brothers for doing such a fantastic job. I've yet to see a Toll Brothers that I really wasn't fond of. I'd love to hear your thoughts about that as well. You have this hexagon tile shower surround inside of here as well. Wow. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. And quite frankly, I mean, I love to see the new model houses because sometimes, some model houses have been open for, a year, 2 years by the time I get to them, or the time we see them on this channel at least. And sometimes you may feel that the staging is outdated. Some of the furniture may be outdated. Really can't, hold that against them just for the simple fact that sometimes it has been open. You may say, hey, go ahead and they should swap out the furniture and things like that. But I mean, some folks really don't think about that. But I just love this. Hats off to the stager inside of here, carpet inside of here. You have the baseboards all along here, painted walls. And look at this. Wow, you really can't get much better than this. You even have the painted window seals. Interesting. So you have a queen size bed, 2 full size nightstands, full bathroom attached to this as well. Look at that. Can't get much better than that, folks. Full walk-in closet. So really, of course, this one, a ton of square footage. You're going to notice that inside the rooms, the builder can certainly add more square footage to the rooms for that simple fact without having to compromise. And here, what I really like is that you have wainscoting throughout this part of the walls right here. You have the lighting fixtures again, but gosh, really can't get much better than this. I love to hear your thoughts as far as if you like this model or the Stelvio by Toll Brothers. And if you haven't seen that one, you can obviously search that on this channel. A couple weeks ago, I showcased that one, and I'd love to hear your thoughts between the two. But I'm thinking I'm liking this one right now as we speak, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. But look at that. Full walk-in showers, quartz countertops, white cabinetry, chrome lighting fixtures, impeccable. So that was the entire second level right here. This would be overseeing your property right here, at least the front foyer. And then now let's go ahead and take a look at the backyard. Sorry if I went a little fast on here. They're about to close, so I want to be respectful of their time. But I showcase every part of the property that I've seen, so you don't have to worry about that. But one thing you will notice is that you have a covered backyard patio on the right side, obviously with the full fireplace. Look at that. Natural stone again. That would be overlooking right here. As you can tell, they're in the process of building the pool. It's going to be nice. Yes. And then you also have a covered backyard patio on your left side as well, which is very interesting. We haven't seen two separate ones before, but of course it would extend out a little bit. Like I said, they're in the process of completing this, just how we've seen the Stelvio as well. So it would extend over here, so that way you don't have to worry about it being sectioned off. But wow. Other than that, folks, that was the lovely Toll Brothers property. All right, Rankin family, so that was the beautiful Toll Brothers property right here north of Dallas. Let me know in the comments what you folks thought about it. Of course, if you do want more information, I have all of it in the description below, and I'll see you folks on the next property tour.